If you're woke, you're broke. If not, Biden's budget will get you there. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, March the 12th. And of course, we're getting ready for the big show tonight, the NCAA March Madness brackets, so we can all get ready for our bracket pools this week. And but you know, if you happen to have seen Biden's budget, it makes you scratch your head and wonder what kind of idiot is running this country right now and how much they want to break everybody. As we all know, not both, but as we all know, the government and the Federal Reserve create only debt. They create nothing but debt. Okay, and of course, if this budget, I saw that there was, I think, $25 billion for border security, which they don't have anyways. They want to open the borders. So why would there be $25 billion? Why is there more money in there for Ukraine? Are we supposed to fight their wars as well? We can't even handle what's happening in the United States of America. Okay, but yet we want to go out and fight other people's wars and fund them with your money. Okay, my money. I ain't happy about that either. Okay, and with the SVB bank going busto this week, and of course the depositors getting screwed because they didn't have enough FDI insurance because of their account setups. Are we going to get stuck with that bill too? Is this going to be another too big to fail bank? But as we look at the banks, and if you've watched their stocks recently, as you know, we have repeatedly said here that the banks were in trouble, that it was all a mirage, and that they were over leveraged, and we were going to end up with the same repeat as we saw in 2008. And I think we're a hell of a lot closer to that today, of seeing a meltdown of the banks and, of course, another surcharge tax to citizens while the bankers take the budgets. And what a business model. You loan out, you over leverage, and if you go broke, the Federal Reserve bails you out, which means you and me, the taxpayers, bail them out. Okay? I say fuck them. Okay? Let them go out of business. That's what they deserve, because all they're doing is stealing anyways. Okay? The Biden's new budget, even the Democratic economists are calling it an atrocity. Okay? And once again, he has still not made it to Ohio, okay, to help Americans, but he has managed to get to Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, and Poland. Okay, now you tell me in what area that makes sense. Are you tired of helping the rest of the world instead of helping this country? We are in dire straits, my friends, and it's only getting worse. And the energy policy in which we are using is total bullshit. It is so ridiculous that if you do believe in climate change, which I do not, but if you do believe it, I have no problem with that. But you do not have the power grid. You do not have the resources to get there. But yet they want to continue to spend our money, continue to push this inflation higher because of the cost of oil, because fossil fuels are involved in 80% of your life, no matter what you do. No matter how much you try not to have them involved, 80% of your life is directly correlated to the fossil fuel industry. And God forbid we should not worry about the shale boom that we're still here. Nobody wants to talk about it, that we are producing so much oil here that we have a 300-year supply at current usage. But by all means, let's let the coal plants continue to open up. Okay, let's let the coal continue to burn, okay, and pollute our air. Okay, isn't that the reason that President Obama shut down the coal miners in one day and put all those poor people out of work in Kentucky and West Virginia? Okay, so, but now you've got places that are burning coal in Europe that had never burned coal in their history. Okay, so we are burning a record amount of coal. And of course, as I've told you before, considering 40% of the world's population resides in India and China, They are never going to stop burning coal. So we can talk about the carbon footprint all you want, but until this moronic administration and the haters of America decide to give us a budget and a plan on how they're going to get there, all we're going to be doing is pissing in the wind and throwing away your money, my money. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. And the United States, although still the greatest country, is losing its luster quickly. Okay? China foresees the end of the Ukraine war this summer. Well, they're probably right behind it. You know, wars are not, the initial conflict might have been for something, for a reason. But the end of wars are always about profit and money. Okay? And Russia's cleaning up throughout all this stuff, through all the supposed rhetoric of the sanctions and whatever. Russia's cleaning up, okay? And they don't need to worry about what the United States says, because the United States can't put any pressure on Russia, especially with China's backing, okay? U.S. cattle prices are at 9-year highs. Why? Because the supply is at 50-year lows. Cattle is at 50-year lows. So how has that helped the carbon footprint? They're not farting right now. Not enough cows farting. So that should be a relief to AOC, who's worried about that part about feeding people at what cost. You know, I think we have to remember, at what cost are we going to give up and try to get to this new agenda that they want to, when really what we're doing is raising a generation of morons, okay? In Minneapolis, they can't even pass the basic math standards at any age level, okay? So you tell me where that makes sense, okay? That we can't get the regular, 0 students meet the Minneapolis math standards, okay? Of course, you've got another big hater there, so I'm sure she's thrilled that they're raising a group of morons there as well. All right, that we don't want to educate our people, and as you know, we have a high school program which we can't get back in, and we're probably going to have to give it up because, of course, the teachers don't want to teach it, and these tenured unions are killing this country. Okay, because they don't have to do anything but get paid. And I think that, again, you look at what's going on. Okay, are we going to have a hard landing or a harder one? And of course, that'll be for the Fed to decide. And the Fed is ridiculous. They're another group of haters, of money grubbers, because again, all they're going to do is continue to raise rates. And when have we ever in history seen rates hiked into a recession? And just because you change the rules of what a recession is, you can look around, you can look at your own life, and if you're not in a recession, God bless. But I would say that 90% of Americans are in a dramatic recession in their lives, okay? And I think that you see that the jobs number, which we saw on Friday, told a big story. It was another big beat, but it wasn't really a big beat. And this is, again, where they get to lie about the numbers, okay? First of all, they're using the wrong report. They're using the U3 versus the U6. You can check it out yourself, Bureau of Labor and Statistics.com. You can go to their website and look at the U6, which will tell you how many people have stopped working, how many people have just quit their jobs and aren't working. They take their unemployment until that runs out, and then they're done, okay? And of course, we get the benefit of paying for that too. There are so many job openings available, but nobody wants to work anymore. Okay? Because you've got, of course, the student loan debt still being attempted to be wiped out. And of course, that's unconstitutional, but I'm sure this moron's going to try to figure out something how to get it through. But it cannot get through. But again, the thought of wiping out debt, okay, at creating a budget for $6.8 trillion, and by the end of his administration, pushing the national debt up to over $51 trillion is almost laughable. Okay, I mean, it's criable, but it's almost laughable at what's going on here. I mean, we can't seem to get through to any of our politicians, which is why we as Americans need to reboot, vote them out, and restart, because these people, whether they be Republican or they be Democrat, they are stealing us and robbing us blind. Through their lobbyists, through all their special deals, they are taking your money and my money and putting it in their pocket. Okay. Again, you can think, say whatever you want. That is a bottom line fact that, just like the debt ceiling debate, okay, it is, they take raises into problems. It doesn't affect them. Okay. They are thrilled. That's why they have their own health insurance policy. Our politicians have turned into shit. I mean, I'm sure there's a good one somewhere, but I don't know of any of them. Okay. Whether it be Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer, two jag-off pieces of shit. Okay. Among more. Okay. But again, we don't need to get into all their names. We just know a fact. And of course, if you look at some of the bills that the Democrats are trying to get passed, how about in Maryland, okay, that if you're under 25, you can't be charged with felony murder. Okay. How's that for a new law? Would you like to live under those standards? Where is the law and order, which we will talk about more in our commentary later? Okay. And of course, the DC crime bill. Okay. Can you imagine what they are doing to this country, and with the trying to eliminate the police, allowing people to steal at will? Okay, there are companies that won't do anything, that have cameras, and the cops won't do anything because they can't. But again, you think about those things, and it makes you kind of wonder, okay, that what is somebody under 25 something special? Okay, that they can't be charged with felony murder? I mean, we're worried about guns. We're worried about all the stuff. We're worried about destroying the Second Amendment. We've already done a great job of destroying the First. Now we want to destroy the Second, the right to bear arms, and yet you don't want to charge for felony murder for people under 25 years old. Sounds like a great plan to me. Again, I will repeat this. If you don't get off your ass and go vote at the next election and make some changes and get rid of the dreck that is involved in this country right now, we have no hope. Okay, we still have hope because the one thing nice is we can turn it over. But if you don't do your due diligence, okay, and figure out that you're getting screwed, okay, if you don't care, hey, what can I tell you? I'll be dead before this all really hits the fan. But if you get kids and grandchildren, I'm certainly sure you don't want to leave them in this country, the shape that we're in now. Okay, this is the worst this has ever been. Okay, in my 65 years of living in this country. Okay, so we better do something or it's going to get much, much worse. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, March the 12th. We're going to step out of here for our break and come back with our market report. And by the way, hello to my good friend Charlotte. I just want to say hello, and we'll be back right after the break with Bubba's Bottom Line. What's up, kids? Well, it's daylight savings time. I hope you remember to push your clocks ahead. If not, you're an hour behind. But in the meantime, of course, you know that we have a couple of sponsors, and the sponsors I give you are a couple of brokers, and I have many brokers, but the two I give you are the best in their fields for what we want to do. They're the most cost effective, and they do the best job. And of course, Capital Trading Group does all of our letter of direction commodities and futures trading. Plus, they are partners with Day Trader's Dream and some other new things we're working on. The greatest customer service you'll ever ask for. Nell and Pat over there, the two owners, they take care of you. They answer the phone. Nothing better, because if you're calling your broker, you're not calling to say how you doing. You're calling because you got a problem. In the meantime, check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And if you missed it, scrolling on the sides over here. And of course, Trade Your Brokerage. What a bargain they are. Saves me $100,000 a year in commission. They have the ability to automate your trading. If you're a member, you can have automated trading of our equity portfolios. Our hedging portfolios can be automated as well. Those have to pay a licensing fee, but not to Trader, but to me or to us. Okay, but Trader's $10 a month flat. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could be at any other broker. It's up to you. Again, I can't tell you what to do, but to me, saves me $100,000 a year. And certainly, I'd rather the money than give it to some broker that is being defended by these ridiculous regulators. In the meantime, don't forget about our high school program as well. We are giving it one last shot to try to get it out, but it is a very expensive process. And I've funded it myself for all these years. And, ever since COVID, it's been tough to get it back in because, of course, teachers don't want to teach. They just want to collect their paycheck. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, March the 12th. We're gonna get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market report right now. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line on Sunday, March the 12th, and of course our market report. And well, pretty much as we laid it out last week, and pretty much as we've been laying out, we were waiting for a trend to appear, and finally it looks like the trend is down, and it looks like it's going to get ugly. Okay, it is breaking down pretty hard, and of course, as you know, we have been short the major indices, and we remain short the major indices with no changing soon. Now again, certainly this week, I would expect a rally one of these days, but those rallies that will come will be spots you'll be looking to sell. Okay, you never want to sell into the hole. You don't want to chase them down. But if you're looking to pick up a short position, you want to look for a little bit of a rally. You might get it tomorrow. We don't know when it's going to come, but you're going to get a little bit of a rally. It's going to look good, and you're going to want to sell it. Okay, the trend is down. The banks are in trouble. We're going to see some major stuff coming out. Again, this just didn't just happen. This bad news isn't just coming now. I've told you all along that the banks were shit and they were in trouble and they were over leveraged and they could never meet a true audit, only that phony audit that is put on by the Federal Reserve. In the meantime, the dollar, which we no longer trade, but the dollar we would still be long, and the dollar had a big up week last week. The euro currency, we are short. We do trade, and we will stay short as I continue to figure that's going much, much lower. And again, my eventual target is 88 cents. Bitcoin we're short. It is at about 19.5 or so, 19.6. Look, again, we're short. I do own it though in the actual Bitcoin, and I'm shorted on the board. But I do suspect that you may be finding some support here once again. I do think that, especially with what's going on in the economy and digital currencies, there might be some play here. But right now we are still short. Bonds and notes. Now, this is a trade that I hate. Okay, we are going to reverse them either tonight or tomorrow, depending on how you trade, to long. I hate it. I think that the action on Friday was just nothing more than a short squeeze, but unfortunately, they ran so big, it was enough to trigger a reversal. My guess is this is going to be a losing trade for me, but I don't cherry pick. I can't fight what the model tells me. Okay, but I do hate it. I go on record as telling you I hate it. Okay, but interest rates are going up, not down. Okay, and bonds are going down, not up. That big move really moved the 10-year off of 4% down to 376. Okay. The precious metals, gold had a big update. We're going to reverse gold either tonight or tomorrow. I do like that. I would have liked to have had an opportunity to get in, but again, as I said earlier, I think gold's going to new highs this year. Silver remains under heavy pressure, and of course the separation is getting farther and farther apart, and the ratio is getting wider and wider. But we do expect, at some point silver will change here, and I expect a big rally, but we are still short. Platinum, which we no longer trade, I think it's getting ready to break out. I think platinum's going to lead this metals rally when it goes, and I think, again, anytime it gets back around 900, I think it should be a buyer. Copper, we continue to be short. Again, I don't see the need for copper right now. If you're looking around, housing prices are collapsing. Even on new construction, they're lowering their prices now. So we'll see, but we're still short copper. Crude, we're long. It's really still stuck in consolidation. But I think it's going to get ready to break out big, and I think it's going back to all-time highs. Okay, not tomorrow. Okay, but I think we're going. Our next target would be, the mid 80s and 90 and 95. I would say by summertime we'll be in the hundreds. Okay, and expect. Don't be surprised when suddenly there's an oil shortage created by Saudi Arabia and OPEC and their crooked pals somewhere in April, May, as we get ready to go into driving season. Nat gas, we got long, didn't work out. We reversed back to short. Okay, and in the grain markets, well, they're ugly. It's unbelievable. But corn and wheat are really ugly. We're short both. Soybeans, not as ugly, and we actually are long soybeans. Okay, and there's no changes there. In the cattle markets or livestock markets, cattle and hogs, cattle keeps going up. It's amazing. But of course, as I told you in the opening, there's a 50-year shortage on how much cattle is, so that's going to drive prices higher. But again, if this oil continues to go higher, which I believe it will, I think that brings the prices down in cattle and increases hog prices. And if you look out the curve, you'll see that although April hogs are 80 something, you go into the summer, the hogs are over $1 or over 100, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay. In the softs, you've got cocoa was down, we're short. Cotton's down, we were short. Sugar we're short, it was down. OJ we're short, was down, and of course coffee we're short. Excuse me, coffee we're long. My apologies. Okay, no, I'm sorry. We reversed it back to short. Okay, so again, I do expect all commodities to have a much bigger rally. Okay, I expect a big market in commodities. The logic behind the trade right now doesn't make sense because of the cost. Now, these aren't stocks. There's real information here versus supply, demand, and versus the cost of input, whether or not they can farm. And my only thought here is that you could see some manipulation by governments and trying to accumulate the farmland and the growing land so that they can take control of the food supply and eliminate the small farmer. But we'll see whether it happens. In the meantime, expect these markets to continue trending in the way they're going. As I said from the beginning, I believe we're going to see a 50 to 70% haircut before it's all done. It doesn't mean it's all going to be this year, but I go back, I made this statement last year, okay? And I continue to see that it's looking to become more and more fruitful and more truth than I was hoping for, but it is happening. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll step out here of our final break and come back with my commentary and get ready to rock and roll. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, again, I'm not going to go through the entire talk of our partners. You know I have 2 brokerage partners. You know that I have many other brokers. That is just to give you full disclosure. But my 2 favorites, Capital Trading Group for futures and commodities, letter direction. They're scrolling on the side along with Trade Your Brokerage. They're the best. I mean, those are the 2 best brokers. In my 44 years of trading, those are the 2 best brokers I've ever had. They are the most reasonable, the best, and do a great job for their people. Okay, and of course our high school program, which is scrolling on the bottom, check it out. And if you want to help us out and see if we can help educate America, feel free to do so. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Let's get back to my commentary right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, March the 12th. And of course, tonight is Selection Sunday. So we'll see how the brackets break out. And we'll have obviously some picks. And I know that about 99% of the world or the states participate in brackets. So it should be a lot of fun. In the meantime, what's not a lot of fun is the true lack of law and order in this country. I always salute our public servants, military, police, fire, but you know what? I think they're getting overrun. I think that many of these laws that are trying to be passed are just totally moronic. The Maryland under 25 no felony murder, really? Well, I think we should be stricter. Okay, I think that we're really turning the states into a pile of shit, and I've never seen more hatred, more racism than under, of course, the most racist president in modern history. I can't go back before. The most racist president in my lifetime is behind all of this. Okay, the Democratic Party, the far left of the Democratic Party, is pushing for this defund police, allowing the borders to be wide open. Okay, and basically copping up and stealing your money for nothing. And the simple math of all this, okay, is this. Okay, the red states that are tax-free have plenty of money and are flourishing. The blue states that have high taxes are busted. Okay, where does the logic fit for you there? Okay, now I'm a libertarian, so I think they're both crooks. Okay, and not that the libertarians wouldn't be, but there isn't enough in office right now. In the meantime, again, we need law and order. If this country is going to survive, we got to quit screwing around and get back to real law and order and put the criminals where they belong, either in jail or to death row. And we got to quit with the bullshit and start to fire it up. This is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, March the 12th. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.